guys, thank you so much for tuning back in to the second episode of my au pair journey series. I really appreciate everybody's support. I've been getting so much love after dropping the first video. Y'all are making me so excited about doing this. So this is the second episode of the series. This is gonna be about starting from like a week before my flight to New York up until my arrival to New York. I look like a little child, y'all. Okay, so I know most of y'all are excited about hearing about the first family that I was with and why did I say that they were a really terrible family. So with that being said, I moved to America October 31st of 2016. This day is already special, not because it's Halloween, but it's because my best friend's birthday. My best friend is in Hungary. I left her ass right there. She did not like me for that. I think she's still probably upset with me for leaving on her birthday. But oh well, what can I do? Y'all know that when y'all going on international flights, there's a weight limit for the luggage. 23 kilograms, which is I think 60 pounds. And I was like, this is not gonna work. That's my very first advice to everybody who's, moving to a different country or becoming an au pair. You're coming from a tiny country to the United States. You do not need to pack your clothes that you already have. You do not need your little old used worn to death clothes from home. I was like packing books, like they don't sell books here. 6 in the morning was my flight. I'm the type of person who likes to be at the airport 4 hours early. So my family came with me. We were like saying goodbyes. That was like the hardest. I hate to say goodbye, guys. Like, I'm really bad at that. I cry. I'm so sad. It was a typical movie moment. Y'all know when you're watching a movie and then y'all know it's a sad scene that's coming up because like they show the airplane like taking off and then like the person is like staring at the window and then y'all see the clouds. That was me. I had a layover in Germany, in Berlin. Flight is around 10 hours with the layover. I landed at JFK. So as an au pair with the agency I moved here with, you have a 3-4 day training. Like it's a little long weekend and before they ship you off to the family. So before you continue your way to your family, the host family, you go through a training. It's about like safety, fire safety, CPR. At the end of the day, you are here to take care of children. After that, my first family, as I mentioned in the previous video, was in Massachusetts. So me personally, they put me on a bus. On the last day of the training, they take you to the city. So I was literally standing on Times Square and everybody was taking pictures. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. And I was like, okay, cool. As much as I always wanted to visit and move here, I literally felt like I've been here before. Which is crazy because that's how I knew that I'm like, okay, I meant to be here. I meant to live here. This is where I'm supposed to be at. Besides Times Square, they also take you to the Rockefeller Center, the Empire State Building. However, these things are basically perks. So when the family completes their application and you all finalize the contract, they can get you a little welcome package. The welcome package includes a hoodie, a sport bag, like a little duffel bag, the ticket to the Empire State Building and the ticket to the Rockefeller Center. None of these are mandatory. Like they don't have to do this, but like add all these things together. A hoodie that says I love New York, a bag that has the agency's logo on it, and the 2 tickets. I don't think they cost more than like $150. So for somebody who never been to the US or they don't live here, it's a cute little gift. And for the family, it's not supposed to break the bank. Like if you can afford to have an au pair and pay the agency $10,000 or $12,000 a year, plus you pay your au pair, that's not even $10,000 a year, you can afford to spend 150 on these little gifts. But my family, I think, only got me one of the tickets and the hoodie and the bag. So that was already like, mind you, I moved here with $200. I had $200 for the first 2 weeks of me living here, because $200 in Hungary is a lot of money. You know, me and my parents were doing the math and they were like, how much money you think you need? And I was like, well, that should be enough. That was not enough. Like, I'm just telling you right now. But then now we are at the end of the weekend and I'm on my way to Boston on the bus to be picked up by the family. The first red flag was not getting me all the little gifts, which is, you know, it's whatever. The next red flag was them being an hour and a half late to the pickup spot. That's already mad disrespectful and rude. Everybody else's family was on time, all the parents were there, all the host kids was there, and the kids made signs for the au pair saying like, welcome to our family, so great to have you as part of the family or in addition to the family, welcome to America, shit like that. Mine ain't do nothing. The dad came by himself to pick me up, the mom stayed home with the kids, and that's it. Big ass fucking red flag. Next, what happened was during the interview process, they were asking me what I like to eat. I told them that I'm dairy free, I'm gluten free, but I know that Mark Wahlberg has a burger joint and I would love to try that. They were like, okay, so we can like pick you up and then we can take you there on your first day with us. Guess what? Next red flag. They never took me there. So why are you saying all these things? Why are you all lying? Why are you all saying stuff that I will find out are cap? So when I arrived, the kids were super mean. Like, we know how 2-year-olds are, right? But she was worse than that, which I blame the parents for it, because if you don't know how to parent, you should not have more than one child. Like, obviously, before you have a kid, you don't necessarily know how to parent. But once you have a kid and you don't know how to be a good parent to that child, why are you having more? I had my own room, so that's good. I had my own bathroom. And they were like, you know, feel free to eat anything that you find in the house. If you ever want us to buy something, like we can go grocery shop together, or you can just write a list of things that you need. So where I made a mistake is I dared to put like a certain type of snack on the list or something that I know they wouldn't buy but I like. They were like, okay, like you have to limit what you're buying, or if you want like extra stuff, like you have to buy it yourself. That was already not what they promised. You know, they were like, oh, we actually trying to eat more healthy as well, so maybe your diet is gonna encourage us to eat healthier. These motherfuckers was not eating healthy. I told them how much I like to work out and that I'd be going to the gym like 5-6 times a week. So they were like, okay, that's cool. Like the dad especially likes to go to the gym as well. So y'all can, you know, go there together, or he can just take you, or you can drive to the gym yourself. I'm like, okay, perfect. Like, I appreciate that. The next red flag is that just because you have a gym membership, it doesn't mean you are a gym goer. So the dad indeed had a gym membership, but he never actually went to the gym. After like a week or two, they realized that I'm really serious about fitness. And they were like, okay, so this is not gonna work. You're using the car too much. So you can only go to the gym up to 2 times a week, or you can pay for gas. So I'm like, that's cool. I don't mind paying for gas. Even though that was not what we discussed. Yeah, little motherfuckers, that's okay. I don't mind paying for the gas. So after about another week, they were like, okay, like you just can't use the car more than twice a week. So now you think I'm gonna say no because you expect me to drop some bread, and then when I'm willing to drop the bread, now you're telling me that I just can't. Like, make it make sense. I was never alone with the kids. The grandma was always there. They said it's because they know how the girl especially is and how hard it is with a newborn, so they will always make sure that I have an extra set of hands. So that was already suspicious because like, you welcome me to your family. You're supposed to trust me with your kids, but you're not actually trusting me with the kids. The grandma, by the way, hated the mom. This was the dad's second marriage, and the teenager boys from the dad's first marriage. Now the mom hates the teenager hates the mom. So it's already chaotic over there. So the agency is supposed to run background checks and stuff on these families. So I don't know how this piece of information didn't get to the agency, but the grandma who was always helping me told me that the mom actually has a teenage daughter from a previous relationship of hers who ran away when she turned 18. So now I guess the girl probably around like 30. That's crazy. And then how did the agency not know this? What type of background check is this agency running on the families? The grandma told me the reason why this girl ran away is because she hated her own mom. So now y'all can picture somewhat how terrible the mom actually is, right? So usually I was working till like 7 p.m. Both the parents were home by that time, and it was the dad who was making dinner all the time. The mom didn't even know how to cook. So the crazy thing is, these were the type of parents that, you know, got home from work and instead of interacting with their children, they grabbed a beer and sat down in front of the TV, be on their phones, be on their laptops, ignoring the kids. Because, you know, why be with your kids if you have a nanny? Mentality. I'm trying to go in the order of events that they actually happened, but okay, the next thing was they knew how much I love Lil Wayne, right? So I don't remember if Lil Wayne actually just dropped his book, I think, until November, about when he was locked up at Rikers. I don't remember if I ordered that book and it was already delivered by the time I arrived, or if they got that book for me about a month after I moved here, maybe not even, right? Lil Wayne was performing in Albany, which was like a good 3-hour drive away. So they were like, okay, that can be your birthday gift and your Christmas gift. I'm like, okay, that's nice of you, you know? So what we did is the mom took me to Albany. We drove. We spent the night at a hotel, and she took the baby. Obviously, the baby was breastfeeding still and stuff like that, so that just made sense. I went to the concert by myself. Mind you, I didn't have a phone yet because these people did not get me a phone, which is another red flag. How are you not getting me a phone, sir and ma'am? Because my phone did not work in America, right? And obviously I needed a new SIM card, so I think they actually got me a SIM card, but they made me pay for my phone bill, right? Which is crazy because y'all know how much money I make. You are the one paying me, so you should know that these things I can afford, right? From a $195.75 weekly pay. So anyways, the concert was amazing. That was my first Lil Wayne concert ever. But sending me there by myself type shit, that's just, I guess it's whatever. I wanted to go, they didn't want to go, they got me a gift. It is what it is. Then I got a pair of jeans online, and when the pants came, they didn't fit. So obviously I was asking the parents about, you know, the policy, how can I return it, like what am I supposed to do? The dad was like, call them and ask. Call the store and ask. I'm like, I'm shy, like I'm just a girl and I moved here 2 weeks ago. I don't think I could understand somebody through the phone, and I'm new to this, you know, like I'm scared. I don't want to talk to nobody on the phone. He was like, well, then you're not returning your pants. He was literally forcing me to call this company to figure out how I can return the item. He thought he was helping me with that, like, sir, that gave me trauma. But now I talk a lot, so I guess not really. Obviously now, like so many years later, I see the progress. Like, you know, you see the progress. One more red flag that I can remember now is that obviously I wasn't doing my laundry mixed with the family's laundry. I had to take care of the kids' laundry. My mom taught me how to do laundry properly. So I always wash colors separate, like bright colors, dark colors, whites, towels, underwear, and socks all separately, right? But I didn't have too many white clothing items at the time, so maybe I had 2 towels and 2, 3 like tops, a couple pair of socks, underwear, and a pair of pants that was white. So that's a big difference between America and Hungary. The washing machines in Hungary are super tiny compared to these big ones in America. So I was just trying to like get a big enough load to load the washing machine, but then I was like, you know what, like I need my white clothes, they be sitting there for 2 months, I'm just gonna do like a smaller wash on Eco. I think the mom got home from work while my laundry was in the wash, and then she texts me. That's some shit I really hate about Americans. You could have knocked on my door, you could have waited for me to come outside or address the issue anytime when you see me face to face. But she just texted, what you did with the laundry is not okay at all. You are wasting water, you are wasting laundry detergent, and do not ever do that. I'm like, what the? So now I can't even do laundry. Like, so odd. Oh yeah, this is the tea. Like, this is the tea part of the whole thing. I was not on no dating apps back home, right? Like, I was 18 when I moved here, so I'm like, you know, I didn't know nothing about dating or anything like that. So when I moved here, I got on dating apps, Tinder, and I think maybe Hinge, or I don't even know if there was Hinge at the time, but maybe just Tinder. And I was gonna go to Boston. So that's another thing. Every time I got paid on Friday, when I got paid on time, because sometimes they did not pay me for 2 weeks, and I was literally, you know, asking them to pay me, and that's not cool. Like, it should be set up for direct deposits already, but if I have to ask for my own money, you better pay me on time. But I just wanted to avoid them. So every weekend when I was not working, but these motherfuckers made sure I was working the 45 hours. They made sure, even if they were home, they made me work. But so whenever I wasn't working, I took the bus or the train to Boston. So to buy the ticket, to Uber to the station, buy food, you know, have fun throughout the weekend, my $200 was gone. So back to the dating apps. I matched with somebody on Tinder and we set up a date. So they were like, okay, who you meeting? Because I did tell the family, obviously. I was like, well, I'm meeting this person, and then I showed them a picture. They were like, what's his name? So I tell them the person's first name, right? They were like, okay, cool, just make sure he doesn't pick you up in front of the house, just give him like an address close by. I'm like, okay, I can do that. That was like a couple links later. I think we like saw each other 2 times, because obviously I'm not gonna hop in nobody's car. Be smart, kids, be smart. We're not sitting in no stranger's car. Up until I moved to America, basically, I was almost 19. I was living with my mom. Now I have a stranger treating me like I'm their daughter and telling me what to do and what not to do. Ma'am, your daughter ran away for a reason. Your daughter ran away for a reason. Like, you're not finna do that to me, which she ended up doing, obviously, because I switched families after 4 months. Basically, I got home from a date and they were like, we need to talk. I'm like, what's up? They were like, you know how long it took us to find that person online and like find their criminal records and run a background check on them and stuff like that. Why would you do that? Like, why would I understand, but I don't understand, bro. Like, that's weird. This person was living in Rhode Island, but he also had an apartment in the Bronx, which obviously back then I didn't know what the Bronx was. I didn't know anything about the Bronx. I wish I still didn't, but unfortunately now I do. Shout out to my friends in the Bronx. So one weekend I wanted to come back to New York, right? Just to like walk around. I love the city so much. And the guy was telling me that that weekend he was actually in New York. So I can like meet him, you know, he can pick me up from the bus and stuff. So I'm like, okay, cool. The family knew that I was going to meet the guy here, right? They ain't say nothing. They were like, okay, be safe, whatever. But all the shit, all the red flags that I mentioned happened before this New York weekend. This was 3.5, 4 months into me living with the family. And then so they didn't say nothing, you know, they didn't say you can't go. I just had to be back by Sunday night so I can work on Monday. So I was obviously not happy with the family. They didn't give me an opportunity to travel, to, you know, just make the most out of this whole program. So while I was in New York, I made up my mind and I decided that I'm gonna call the agency and tell them that I would like a rematch. A rematch is when the family and the au pair part ways. It doesn't have to be a mutual agreement, because obviously if I don't want to live with them anymore, I can just tell the agency and then they can try to like mediate and like, you know, make peace between the parties. But at the end of the day, it's night. The end of the day, like, you know, if you don't feel comfortable and happy, like, you get the opportunity to rematch. I called the agency rep. We're gonna call her an LCC, local childcare consultant. And I tell her, I'm like, hey, I was thinking and I want a rematch. She was like, wow, that is so interesting, because I spoke to the family yesterday and they want a rematch too. Well, this happened during that New York weekend. I was like, okay, cool. So once you decide that it's a rematch, the au pair has 2 weeks to find a new family, otherwise we need to leave the country. And depending on what country you're from, you might not even be able to come back on the same type of visa to America again, or depending on what country you're from, you might not even be able to come back to America because you basically violated the terms of your program. So she was like, okay, but I need to like come talk to like all of y'all and see, you know, what made y'all want a rematch, if we can like work things out. And I think she came like 2-3 days after we said that it's gonna be a rematch. So it was mad awkward in the house because I didn't tell the family that I called the LCC for a rematch, and the family never told me that they called the LCC because they wanted to get rid of me. So obviously I told my parents about my decision and everything. And then my dad advised that I just wrote out all my reasons why the family was terrible, why I didn't want to be there, why I wanted a rematch, why I didn't feel comfortable, and all those things. So I did. And I ended up a couple days later with 3 pages of reasons why. They could have been my 13th reason, to be honest with y'all. To be completely honest, because they were just not it. So their reason was that I was, you know, putting their safety at risk, and that the kids were not listening to me. So basically when they told me that, oh, the girl is just a bad child and she doesn't really listen to anybody, they said that they didn't want to hurt my feelings. And that's why they told me that. They were just lying so much. And stay tuned for episode 3 because I'm finna spill the tea on why I decided to have a rematch. I just realized that I cannot talk and do my makeup at the same time. I can multitask, no problem, but when it comes to makeup and talking, I have to pay attention, and turns out I just can't do that. But with that being said, thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate everybody's support, everybody's views. I appreciate all subscribes, likes and comments, and hope to see you at episode 3.